All right, let's talk about a huge shift that's happening in search right now. AI is completely changing the game for how we get seen online. And that old SEO playbook you've been using, well, it's pretty much on its way out. So today, we're going to break down the new strategies you absolutely need to know to win in this new world of AI search. Let me just start with a prediction that should really get your attention. The idea is that by 2026, most of the time when someone searches for something, the AI is going to answer it directly before they even get a chance to click on your website. Think about that. All that organic traffic you're fighting for could just disappear, even if you're ranking #1. So, this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? If AI is the new gatekeeper of information, how do you make sure that it's your stuff, your content, that it's serving up to people? Well, that's exactly what we're going to get into. Okay, let's dive right in. The very first thing we have to wrap our heads around is that the basic rules of search have changed. We are smack in the middle of an AI search revolution, and honestly, it requires a totally new way of thinking. The biggest mental shift we have to make is this. We've got to stop chasing individual keywords. The old game was all about stuffing keywords into your pages. But the new game? It's all about proving that you have deep, undeniable expertise on a topic. It's about becoming the authority. And look, this isn't just a theory. The data is crystal clear. Recent studies show there's basically zero connection between how many times you use a keyword and how well you rank. In fact, get this, a huge study confirmed that topical authority is now the single most important factor. AI can tell the difference between someone just using buzzwords and a real expert. Okay, so if we know AI loves expertise, how do you actually build it? How do you show it? Well, it's really a two-part process. This first part is all about becoming the undeniable expert in your field. First up, you have to build depth. You start with a big, broad pillar page, something like the ultimate guide to digital cameras. Then you write more detailed articles on all the little subtopics, like best lenses for portraits or how ISO affects your photos, and you link them all together. This sends a powerful signal to the AI that you haven't just covered a keyword, you've mastered an entire topic. But knowing your topic inside and out is only half the battle. This quote says it all. Average content from a source people trust will beat amazing content from a total unknown. It's not just about what you're saying, it's about who is saying it. And this is where your brand and your personal authority becomes so important. This is such a brilliant way to understand the psychology here. There was a famous study where people were way more likely to trust someone just because they were wearing a lab coat. Well, guess what? AI has the exact same bias. It's programmed to trust and, quote, recognized authorities because it's a safer bet. It's not just asking, what does this webpage say? It's asking, can I actually trust this source? So, how do you put on that doctor's coat for an AI? You have to prove it. Write detailed author bios that show off your experience. Use case studies to show real results. Get your brand mentioned on other trusted places like podcasts and blogs. And by the way, even if they don't link to you, it still counts. And be consistent everywhere, from your website to your social media. Okay, so let's say you've done the work, you've built up your authority. That's great. But it's kind of useless if the AI can't easily find your content, understand it, and then quote it. So now we've got to talk about how to speak the AI's language. Now, here's another idea that might sound a little crazy at first. We have to stop being so obsessed with traffic. Yeah, you heard that right. AI might not send a flood of clicks to your site, but the people it does influence are incredibly valuable. The new goal isn't just clicks, it's actual conversions. And the numbers totally back this up. One study found that AI was responsible for nearly 10% of revenue for B2B companies and over 11% for B2C. Why? Because when an AI cites your brand, it's essentially handing you a super qualified lead who is ready to buy. So how do you get cited? You have to make your content super easy for an AI to digest. And the best way to do that is with something called structured data, or schema markup. The best analogy is to think of it like a nutrition label on food. It tells the AI exactly what your content is. Is it a review, an FAQ, a recipe, so it can recommend it with total confidence? This table just lays out the whole shift perfectly. Old school SEO was all about being thorough to get backlinks. This new world, let's call it AI Engine Optimization or AOO, is all about clear structure to earn citations.
It's not just about links anymore. It's about being mentioned, being quoted, and even the feeling or sentiment of those mentions.
So, how do we actually put all of this into practice? Getting your site ready for AI isn't some one-time project you can just check off a list. It really means changing your entire SEO workflow from the ground up. I love this analogy. Just think of an AI like a parrot that's listening to everything on the internet. If you consistently feed it clear, structured, authoritative information, it's going to learn to repeat your words. But if you're messy or inconsistent, it's just going to learn from your competitor instead. You are actively training the AI whether you realize it or not. And that means we need a new way to measure success. Forget just tracking your rankings on Google. The new #1 metric is the citation. That's when an AI directly references your brand or your data in its answer. Every single one of those is a high-value lead, and that's what we have to start tracking now. So here's your new workflow. #1, start tracking those AI citations. #2, here's a simple test. Take one of your articles, paste it into a chatbot, and ask it for a summary. Does it nail your key points? If not, you need to rewrite it for clarity. And finally, you have to blog consistently. You got to keep feeding that parrot new material. And for anybody who still thinks blogging is dead, just look at this chart. When you break down where AI platforms are actually getting their information, blogs are the clear winner, by a long shot. They absolutely love well-structured, informative articles. Publishing content consistently is the single best thing you can do to earn those valuable citations.
So, to bring it all home, the entire game has changed. The old race to get the #1 ranking is being replaced by the hunt for the #1 citation. It's all about becoming the trusted source that AI turns to when it needs an answer for its users.
And if you need one last little piece of proof that this is worth it, here it is. Companies that actually adopted these new strategies saw AI drive an average of almost 6% of their total online sales, and that was within the first year alone. This isn't some trend that's coming in the future. It's a huge revenue opportunity right now. And that really leaves us with one final question to think about. The internet is basically being rebuilt around the idea of trust, not just traffic. So you have to ask yourself, what are you building? Are you building for clicks? Or are you building an authority that people and AIs can trust?